So my garage chicken, Willow, passed away overnight. Just to recap, I found her Christmas Eve poofed up in the corner of the run, which is a sign that they're not feeling well. So I separated her. Second I picked her up, she had fermented, I don't even know what you call it, the gunk that comes out of their crop when they have sour crop. Treating sour crop sucks, but at least I knew what I was dealing with. It really sucks when you can visibly see that you have a sick chicken, but there's nothing externally or immediately internally that you can see anything wrong, because then it's like a game of Russian roulette to figure out what's wrong. I was hopeful that she was going to make it overnight, but not confident, because yesterday she did not look good. She didn't eat. She just stood and barely moved all day. So for sour crop, I was treating her with monostat depositories. I feel like this is my key way of telling when a chicken is probably gonna pass soon. And yeah, they're lethargic, eyes are closed, sleeping a lot, but if you're trying to give them something like a medication or a supplement or something to help them because you know they are sick, if you put it in their mouth, and I will put it right in their beak and just let them know that it's there, and then they swallow it on their own. And when you put it in their mouth and they're not swallowing it or not fighting it, and it's just sitting there. I mean, we sat for 5 minutes of me trying to give her this littlest piece of monostat, and it took her forever to actually swallow it. Anyway, the point really of this video is that now that I've had time to sit down and assess everything, it's the day after Christmas. I had no time to really look into things and think about things yesterday. So here's what I've come up with. Sauerkraut can be brought on its own with no other reason other than things that they eat, not having grit. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons that they can just get it. Willow was an Easter egger silky mix. She laid beautiful tiny blue eggs the first year that I had her. Then she stopped a little bit over one winter. In February, laid one soft egg and then never laid an egg again. Some people say that they have young chickens that just don't lay and they've never had an issue and they live a long life, which is what I was hopeful for. But in my processing here, I'm thinking it was cancer. It could have been tumors on the GI tract. Considering she's not laying eggs, it could have also been tumors on her ovaries. But with the GI tract, if you've got tumors, then you're having an issue with a blockage in the crop and things aren't moving and digesting as easily as they should be. I feel pretty confident that that's probably what we were dealing with. And the fact that she didn't show any signs of being sick, which they can hide that for a long time. And then suddenly she was sick. Okay, removed her immediately. And less than 48 hours later, she was gone. I've dealt with sour crop several times with chickens, and it never happened that fast. My flock is also Marek's disease positive, which can play a role. If you already have a Marek's flock, every time a chicken is sick doesn't necessarily mean that it's Marek's disease. They can have other things happen to them that are unrelated. But also because they have Marek's disease, even with those unrelated things, it can still make things a little more tricky than it normally would. And there's actually a link from Marek's disease to nerve damage that can cause sour crop as well, which I think could also be a possibility of what was going on with her. She was a neck twitcher, not like wry neck, but for as long as I can remember, I've had her for about 3 years. She had the little head, she was shaking her head, but she would do it a lot. And I've always kept an eye on her, and nothing ever came of it. And it wasn't always excessive. Sometimes it was. Sometimes she didn't do it at all for a long time, but up until like at the end, she was starting to twitch her head a little bit more too. So yeah, Marek's disease and cancer can cause sauerkraut. Welcome to the wonderful world of owning chickens.